Hello again, welcome back. Today I wanted to kind of do a walk around and a brief overview of where we're at and what we've got going on with the RZR Pro build. So let's get started. So to start off with, we got a new set of seats from Hunter Safety Products. I've got one just sitting in the machine. I'll show you here in a minute. In that box there is the cool cab kit from Wolf's Snout. As many of you know, especially if you've got a turbo machine, these things get hot. So hopefully that kit will cut down on some of that heat inside and it won't make it so miserable to ride in the summer. There we've got the tool kit or tool bag from Rhino. It's got several pouches in it. We're going to build a nice tool kit for that, and I'll show you that once we start getting all the bits and pieces for that thing. In there we've got the dual battery setup from Trailstar Audio. Then next we've got the side mirrors and front camera from Kenimoto. And of course the DynoJet tuner. The only thing I've done with that at this point is plug it in so that it can download the vehicle specific information so that they could send me the tunes. And unfortunately, as you can see, the shocks are still sitting here. Working on getting these things shipped. It's not going to be cheap with having the insurance that these things are going to require to put on them. It's going to be quite an expense, so I'm working still on figuring out what the most cost-effective way to get those shipped are going to be. Next we got over here is the front bumper from DRT. That will house the new winch from Moto Alliance. Their new winch that they've just recently come out with. So all of that will come off. It's already an existing Moto Alliance winch in there, but it's a narrow spool, and the new one will be the wide spool. So that winch will come off and actually go on the back of the machine. There we've got a new dash for this thing. That had to come directly from Polaris. Last year we had a stick come up through the control arms, missed the boot, missed the brake line, missed all the wiring harnesses that come out of there, and went straight up through that wiring harness hole, believe it or not, but then continued all the way through the dash. Luckily it came out up there and not on my wife. That was my attempt on making a temporary repair. It worked for the time being, so we're going to put a whole new dash in there. So the windshield's got to come out. That'll go back on. That's a Polaris factory windshield with wiper and everything. We're going to get a new roof for it. Haven't decided where or what roof it's going to be yet. That one's got to come out. We put some vents in there, which helped with some of the heat, but they've been caught on tree limbs and whatnot over the year, so they're tore up. They don't close and seal properly. There's some holes in the roof from the some accessories I had mounted up there. We still got to tear apart the inside to get the cool cab kit installed, so all that center console's got to come out of there. We've got the Trinity exhaust system is fully installed, sounds great. Currently looking for a replacement intake tube, which runs from the bottom of the bed into the air filter box. The one that Polaris gives you from the factory, to say the least, is flimsy and I would say pretty cheap. It's got a nice opening on the end, but as you can see down in there that it gets pretty narrow, and this thing is really flimsy. I can see why people complain about them getting sucked shut. So we're gonna get a new one of those. I'm working with Trinity. They do sell them, but he's currently out of stock. So I'm waiting to see when he's gonna be able to get those back in. These rock sliders are coming off. The plan at this point is not to replace them. I'm going to put a whole brand new skid plate underneath this thing from Trail Armor. Their skid plates wrap up around the side. I had them on a 4-seat machine that I had years back, and they worked great. So we're gonna try not having the rock sliders on here. I wasn't impressed with these ones from Polaris. The way they mount is horrible. Actually, the first trip we took out to West Virginia, the machine was brand new. I might have had 100 miles on it. First ride we did, actually tore this rock slider here on the right side completely off. Caught a stump and it just pulled it right off. So that is the rear winch mount. It's got a cage that goes over and bolts on to protect the winch. That just gets mounted to the 4 existing bolts that are already back here. There's the rest of the Trinity exhaust system. Turned out great. Like I said, sounds great, looks great. Set of tires from Planet Side by Side. These are a new line from Frontline, both wheels and tires. The 30s are coming off and the 32s are going on, and it's amazing how much bigger these things look than the stock. So working on getting a 4th one of those, because that will fit, was a concern initially. If the 32 would fit on the spare tire carrier, it will. So we're gonna get a 4th, or 5th I should say, wheel and tire. Maybe not necessarily a nice bead lock, but we'll see what we can do, because it just sits up there for the most part. So I don't really care at this point if it's just a steel wheel that goes on there. Back here on this side, the intake tubing from Aftermarket Assassins is installed. That tube that you see coming out of the top of the belt housing is part of the snorkel kit from Dig Rig. That exhaust tube will come in and run up next to the intake tube. I'll show you up top on how they kind of exit out on top of the bed. So you can see up there, that is the intake side. The exhaust side of the tube comes out right on the other side of that. So that should be a nice clean install. I guess I never really understood why Polaris, and I'm sure something in the engineering made sense to them, but that tube used to go out and blow hot air right onto the turbo. Granted, the air was probably cooler than what the turbo was, but after pulling all that apart, there's a lot of empty open space in there. So there's a lot of room for natural cooling and not blowing hot air on there. So we'll see how that all works. I'll probably put a belt temperature gauge on this thing just to be safe. And in here, there is the new seat from Hunter Safety Products, HSP. Very happy with the seat, very comfortable. It's just sitting in there for now. I want to kind of see what it looked like, because like I said earlier, we still got to tear all of that center console and everything apart for the cool cab kit. Let's see what else we got sitting up here on the table. So there's the rest of the exhaust tubing from Dig Rig for the belt housing. There's the old intake tubing and blow-off valve. There's also a new blow-off valve on there. It's kind of hard to see. It's buried up in there. In the black felt, those are just some black trim rings for the wheels if we decided we wanted to go with a black bead lock. We've got a new set of brakes, front and rear, from EBC. Let me show you real quick what we got going on back there. As I've said, this machine's got somewhere around 4,000 miles on it. I'm not exactly sure off the top of my head. Original brakes, you can see the outer pad is still in pretty decent shape. But the inner pad, if it's not metal on metal, it's pretty darn close. So we'll get brand new brakes all the way around on this thing before the riding season. What else we got up here? We've got MB whips. Sent a set of whips that we're going to put on there. One of the nice things about their whips is they've got this, it's a quick connect plug, and it's the same on the end of the whip. It's kind of like an air hose. It just clips on, so it's easy to get on and off. So if you need to get it in a trailer or something like that, or you get into an area where there's a lot of brush, they're easy just to pop off. And then we've got the COM radio system. I've had this system in the machine already. This is a new setup. The old setup mounted to the roof. It was kind of in their style mounting system. So this is a really slick, more clean install. So we're going to get that installed, and I'll walk around here and I'll show you real quick on where that goes compared to what the old system was. So that new system from the COM actually sits right down and mounts in here. So it'll be a really clean install. The old system hung from the roof. It worked great. Just a lot of wires and whatnot around. And I like to try to keep, nothing drives me more nuts than wiring hanging all over the place. So my goal is to make that a much cleaner install. I think that's about what we've got for now. If I've missed anything, I will put it in the comments below. But I don't see anything here. I know there's still stuff coming. Got a set of doors coming. Full doors are coming from Dunes to Desert. They're sending over a set of their full doors. Like I said already, Trail Armor is sending a skid plate. But I don't think I've missed anything. I may have, and if I did, again, I will post it in the comments below. Thanks for watching. One last quick thing. This build has taken longer and is taking longer than originally expected. I had some health issues. I fell off a ladder back in December. Some of you already know that. So I've been struggling with that. I broke my shoulder with that fall, and now I'm having some back issues. So I'm working through that, but we will get this build done sooner than later. Riding season's right around the corner, and I don't want to miss that if at all possible. At least if I can't ride because of my back, at least I can get the machine out there and show everybody what we've done to it, and I'll have somebody else drive it. But with that being said, we're going to get it done. We're going to work through it. Stay tuned for more videos. There's several out there already of the install. So thanks for watching, and we'll talk to you soon.